Hi, welcome to my channel. As you know, if you've been here before, I've always talked about damaged hair. I always talk about personal problems with damaged hair because when we listen to the hair companies, they give out such good information, but however, they cannot personalize it for you, even though they might try by doing hair color and uh, giving you a quiz before. What happens is that analyzing your damage may be a little harder than you think. So if you are looking at your damage and you're thinking to yourself, I don't know how I became damaged. I don't know how to get out of damage. And that's because you don't have the information about your hair that you need to make better decisions. Hair decisions are complicated, especially when there's layers of damage. So if you have medication on a base, a regular base, and then all of a sudden now you're a diabetic or other things can be going on. Or it could be nothing at all going on and you feel as if you just want to keep your hair on a good, healthy regime. That's always good because that puts it where if you do get sick or your hair gets sick, because remember your hair will get sick right along with you. So when that happens, you should be able to have tools to bring yourself back to hair wellness. So one of the things that I did was last time I we were talking about Nexus and how the information applies to you. And what's important about that is because, I'm always talking about condition, but Nexus is saying that too. So hair companies are telling you to condition. They're telling you to condition with their products. And then if you were smarter about your hair choices, you can make better product choices. It's not that so many products are bad as it is you don't know which one is for you. So even though the company tries, it's hard to personalize these conditioners without knowing a lot about you. And that takes time, it takes more money, and people really don't like not making decisions for their hair. Sometimes, you'll say, oh, your hair is dry. Oh, no, it's not. I use aloe vera. It's not dry. You can't argue with them. Okay, so sometimes it's hard to analyze because people are so personal about their hair and they feel as if they know what's wrong with their hair. And believe me, part of them do know what's wrong, but the other part is definitely getting them in trouble and misleading them if they cannot achieve hair wellness. Want to go back to Nexus. Let me see if we go and so let you see here. It's Nexus. And what is deep conditioning? Learn the benefits of deep conditioning. So yesterday we left off at elasticity. It's one of the signs of your hair that tells you that it's healthy or it has the proper protein and moisture. But it also went over what is deep conditioning. If your regular conditioner isn't cutting it, deep conditioning is here to restore dull, dry hair and bring life back to your hair. Deep conditioning usually comes in the form of a thick mask and it's meant to stay on the hair for longer than regular hair conditioner. A lot of deep conditioners target specific problems, such as lack of protein from one to too many chemical treatments, or simply adding a hit of moisture back into your hair. Whatever you need, whatever you need, deep conditioning hair masks usually have the answer. Well, here again, I'm sure their mask is very good, but at this point we need to get the moisture level up. A lot of times we overlook and we, look at the internet and goes, oh, it says take a mask. Let's do a mask. Well, a mask, they do have their conditioning benefits. But if you're dry, dehydrated, and breaking, I just feel that you need to concentrate more on better hair habits and then, of course, achieving the most moisture product. So start off with the moisture because what I've seen in my experience is that if your hair is moisturized, then it can accept protein better. A lot of times we're doing what we read on the internet, but we're not really understanding why we're doing it. And then you don't know what results you're supposed to get. So other than the hair is supposed to be long, moisturized, So that's great if if you can work that out. But for the most part, it's hard to work out whether or not a product has great moisture. It's kind of a trial and error. You know, they may say they have good moisture, but if they're using Panthenol, it's a small moisturizer. It's not going to deliver a lot more water-loving molecules, and we need those to rehydrate the hair or rehydrate the hair. There it is. Okay. So it says the benefits of deep conditioning can vary on the ingredients used. In general, deep conditioning is designed to soften, retrieve, and strengthen your hair, giving your hair a boost that's much more intense than your normal hair conditioner. But to really answer the question, what does deep conditioning do for your hair? You need to take a closer look at the benefits. Deep conditioning and protein for the hair, much needed moisture with deep conditioning for the hair. Deep conditioning helps prevent hair breakage. Deep conditioning promotes elasticity. Help give natural shine when you deep condition. Deep conditioning helps color treated hair. So it's telling you all the reasons why you should deep condition. Okay, that's what's so cool about this. It tells you why, and it tells you what does it do. But a lot of times it's telling you things generally. It's saying if you apply it cold, then it should help rebuild your hair. But if you applying cold conditioner to a cuticle that looks like this, then it's just, I don't feel like you're going to get anywhere. You're going to have to soften that rough cuticle up, get it to stabilize, and then you can go on with your moisture. So back to Nexus. What is deep conditioning? We just read that. What does deep conditioning do? Benefits of deep conditioning vary depending on it says the benefits of deep conditioning vary depending on the ingredients used. In general, deep conditioning is designed to soften, retrieve, and strengthen your hair. Give your hair a boost that's more intense than your normal hair conditioner. But to really answer the question, what does deep conditioning do to your hair? We need to take a closer look at the benefits. So my point is this. It's a benefit to deep condition, and Reckon has definitely said that. And then the proper way is important, how to deep condition. And I learned very early how to deep condition. So once you understand how to deep condition, it'll be easier to bring your hair back. Deep conditioning and protein for your hair. Uh, Much needed moisture deep conditioning. So let's read this one. Much needed moisture. See, hair also needs moisture to stay healthy, which can also be lost during chemical processes and heat styling. A nutritioning deep conditioner will do moisture blocks. No, a nourishing deep conditioner will add moisture back to your hair, helping smooth frizzy and redamaging your hair, and leaving your hair soft and glossy. Deep conditioning helps prevent hair breakage. Deep conditioning are essential for preventing and combating hair breakage. The essential ingredients offered by deep conditioners are intended to mend and nutrition your hair. So you'll need to leave the deep conditioner um, in your hair a bit longer than usual. Conditioners before missing so that it can really penetrate the hair. Deep conditioning promotes elasticity, help give natural sheen when you use deep conditioning. Deep conditioning helps treat color treated hair. How does deep conditioning work? It gives your hair a bit, a big bit, a, a big hit of protein, or moisture, helping to strengthen your hair at the cuticle. A mask can reduce breakage and split ends, improve elasticity, and keep your hair healthy. It revitalizes damaged hair to give it a second chance and protect healthy hair against the things that could be destroying it. Okay, so now we got an idea of what the internet is talking about when it comes to deep conditioning. They feel as if you leave it on longer, you take everything off your skin, you rinse or wash everything so your skin is clean, and they feel that these conditioners will benefit. Well, if your cuticle is already destroyed and your moisture is low and your elasticity is gone, you're going to have to take a different approach. Yeah, you're going to have to take a big different approach because, for instance, let's go back here, color treated hair. Yes, color treated hair is very in need of putting back what you take out. However, it also is in need of monitoring because that color treated hair is a little bit more drier. It helps give shine when you deep condition. Oh yeah, it does do that because it has the moisturizers, and whenever you have moisturizers, you're going to be dealing with the sheen. So this is all good. It's telling you how to deep condition and that you should deep condition. But when it tells you to say, oh, well, I don't have to put heat or I don't have to do anything but let it put it on my hair. And then it doesn't tell you how much you should use. You just have a little label and it says add a little product. So all these things can mislead you because the directions on how to use the product, then it is the benefits, because all these benefits are great, but it's an overload because now that you know all the things the moisture can do, maybe we should have been talking more about what, how, and when to use the conditioners. For instance, you don't have to rinse them out in the morning. Once you apply your conditioner, or if you wet your hair to style it, you wet your hair, you put in your conditioners, you don't rinse it out. You keep it in because the hair will absorb. And so we want the hair to absorb good stuff and things that will help the cuticle. So if your cuticle is looking like this, then you're going to have some problems trying to get your cuticle to hold the conditioner. You're going to have a problem trying to get the conditioner to stay on because it just sucks it up. So what can you do? Well, this is how you deep condition. When you deep condition with heat, it penetrates deeper. When you use moisture and protein, for instance, I would start out first with moisture. Generally, everyone has too much protein. Now, there are some cases, don't get me wrong, I do have cases where, well, I used to have cases where the client was so damaged and depleted, moisture and protein was lost. See how that works? So deep conditioning with all this information is hard to digest that. And then, of course, when they talk about how good the deep conditioning is, then you're sitting up there going, oh, okay, deep conditioning is great for elasticity, moisture, protein, but then it doesn't tell you to use heat. It doesn't tell you to leave the product in. It doesn't tell you to use many conditioners. So if you can use the many conditioners, you can brush, then you have more of a routine. You have more of a regimen. But it's misleading on how to use it when it tells you, oh, well, the label says to shampoo, apply conditioner, rinse out lightly, and continue to go. Well, that's okay if you're a college student, you've never done anything to your hair, you're a person that's already gone silver, so you're not tinting. So now what happens? And then if you are tinting, so for instance, it doesn't tell you every week condition your colored or chemical treated hair because it can't. It has to get to know you personally. How you got in the damage is important. And how you get out of it is important, but generally it's going to take a lot more knowledge about conditioning. So I want to help clear up why the internet is so confusing. We sit there and we think, oh, I can look it up. But then you find all this information. It's hard to pertain it to you. And then you read all that information, but yet It didn't tell you how to, a mini conditioner. Remember the spray bottle? And you put about a dime's to a nickel's worth of conditioner, moisturizing conditioner usually. And you filtered water in a spray bottle and then spray your hair. I talk about it in one of my posts. You missed your hair when you come home because it is just as dehydrated and tired as you are. So we need to do the mini conditioners. We need to do the deep conditioning with heat because by the time you're talking to me, you've already let things go too far. So let's stabilize your damage, right? And let's understand why the internet is so confusing and why product labels are so confusing and why you need to be more informed so you can bring all that together. We've got great products out there. You're not benefiting from them if your hair is dry, brittle, and breaking. So let's get you back on the right track. Let's get you using the product at a more scientific manner, and that way you can get more out of your product, and then of course you can get more progress out of your hair. So I want to see you using the mini conditioners. I want to see you, making sure you're deep conditioning with heat. I want to make sure you understand clearly about how your hair lives so that you can protect your hair. I want to thank you for coming and staying. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for having better hair wellness. Not everyone wants to take the extra step to do what they need to do to get their hair to be back in the hair wellness. What happens is that we just get off into our lifestyle and we're used to doing our hair one way. And then next thing you know, our hair doesn't like our lifestyle, doesn't like our method of putting back what we take out. So therefore, it starts to deplete. Because the hair is like, wait a minute, I didn't get my conditioner. You're not on a routine, lady. You need to get on a routine of conditioning. So that's what the hair really needs, is that routine. So I want to see you get into a routine and can take control of your damaged hair. It is possible. We live with damaged hair too long. We walk around with it, using it as a crown. I see a lot of frizzy hair people, and they just had a perm, and so their hair's all frizzy. They think that's the way it's supposed to look because they're used to seeing the damage. So I really appreciate you coming to this channel to change that. And if you'd like to leave a comment, that would be great. If you would leave subscribe, it's free. And definitely contact me on my email, all your hair questions at ditahair911 at gmail.com. I really appreciate your time. And thank you for giving damaged hair a voice. We need to know that this is not working. We're going in circles. We're in a rut when it comes to taking our hair out of damage. So hopefully this channel will help you clear your thoughts in your mind and arrange your information so that you can take better advantage of your hair wellness. Uh, I guess now I always want to talk more about hair. It's like I can't wait to the next post. I appreciate you. Now go have a good hair day. I appreciate that. Thank you.